It's a pleasure. We are here with Kimarie Richardson-Thomas from Goodwood Secondary School, who is attached to the Language Arts Department. Kimarie, how do you feel to be highlighted as a teacher of worth coming from the Tobago district?
And it was really a humbling, that's the word I'd have to use. It was a humbling experience when I got that call. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and I count it as an awesome responsibility, not just an honor, it's a responsibility. And that's what I see it as, because it means that whatever it is I've been doing, that would have resulted in me being selected, I have to continue doing it, and I have to continue doing it with a level of excellence that would lay a foundation for future teachers who would be selected in a similar capacity.
But I know you do a lot though, and you are in the language department. Tell me a little more about your responsibilities within that department.
Well, and I've been with Goodwood Secondary School for 22 years. You know, I've been with the school and I've always been in leadership position at the school. Now I teach the English language at the lower secondary. I teach English literature at the fifth form level, fifth form level, and I also teach communication studies. And I've also been involved, one of the things that we've been trying to roll out this year at Goodwood, it's really an integrated curriculum that would also involve a whole school reading program, because we realize that the language department, while we may have a very huge role to play in our students' academic development because of the literacy components, we realize that in order for it to work as a department, we have to support the rest of the school to assist our colleagues in how they can also integrate literacy within their respective content areas. So I had acted as the head of department for that department for 15 years. I was the acting head of department for languages for 15 years before I was promoted to Dean of Academic Studies. So every aspect of our academic performance as a school, I try to work along with my administration, very cooperative administration. I don't know about the other schools in Trinidad and Tobago, but I can speak for my administration all over the years. Particularly right now, they're very supportive of some of these initiatives and what they can assist with to ensure that we can move forward in literacy and literacy development of my school.
What motivates you? You know, what gives you that drive, that energy? Because with all this work, it needs preparation. And we have limited time within the day to manage all of these things. And I see you smiling, so you have a lot to offer us. Tell us.
Yes. Primary motivation. It's not one. I don't have one to do. And I know I stay busy all the time. And there are quite a number of things that motivate me. First and foremost, faith. My relationship with Jesus Christ. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Years ago, when I was a student at Bishop's High School, I remembered I had Noel T. Sosa, Mr. Sosa, as my form master. And he encouraged us to write that verse of scripture in one of our notebooks. And I don't even think I was a Christian then. Or I might have just become one. But I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And teaching needs that strength. Teaching needs that strength. I also have a lot of family support. And I drink a lot of coffee that everybody may not appreciate or approve of. But one of the major motivating factors for me is August. Not the holidays, not the vacation. I like those, but August, when results come out. When the results come out and students begin to call you and they say, Miss, I got this, or you get that text message. I'm talking to you now, my paws are raising. There's something about when you hear results are out at any level, and I work with students at multiple levels. When those results come out and these students call with the excitement and you hear that they've achieved these goals, they've gotten these passes and they can move on to the next level. The euphoria that I feel, the excitement, you'd swear I gave birth to these children. But this is I realized that this is what I live for, because I remember when I say live for, I live for more than this. But that excitement, one year, it was so much, it was so overwhelming. I was so excited that at the end of the day, I was getting chest pains and I didn't know why. And I found out afterwards it was the stress and the anxiety and the excitement of, I ended up at a medical facility. And then I realized, look, when results come out, try to relax a little bit. But you see that August period or September when it's late and they start to call, and you hear that these children can move on to a next level, that it feels like I'll tell you this. Years ago, before I was in teaching, I worked in the public service. I also had opportunity here in Tobago. I was involved, in the media, part-time in the media, radio, television. And when I applied to go to university to study linguistics and literature, somebody said to me, but Kimarie, why are you not going and do mass communications? You're doing a really good job with this. I said, if I go and teach, and if I can teach English, then instead of having me doing mass comm and being on radio and being on television, I'm in a position now where we can duplicate this and have more people who can be in a position to advance in that area. So I see my role as not just being a person who can excel in an area, but who can reduplicate, multiply, and that is what I want to see happening, because I'm not going to be around forever. But we must lay a foundation that whatever skill we have as an individual teacher, we can pass that skill on to multitudes so that the work is enhanced, that the future of the work is guaranteed.
What would be your most significant achievement? I know sometimes we tend to look at the persons who got distinctions, but there are sometimes some of these students who didn't expect much, and then we took them from that level all the way to a success that we can celebrate. So think deep. What would be your highlight if you can pinpoint one or two or three?
I don't have to think far.
Okay.
As soon as you said it, it came to mind. Some years ago, and I do private tutoring, but many years ago, a student came to my class and she was going to Civilian Conservation Corps. And she was coming to my class to improve her grades. And when I looked at how she was working, I said to her, but you are writing like someone who should be in university. And I said, what are your passes? She was coming to repeat. What subjects do you have? And so on. And she had passed everything from her previous school, but she was not accepted into their sixth form. I said, bring me your certificates. Let me see what you have. And this was a long time ago, where we might have done things a little differently. But when I saw what she had, I went to my principal at the time. And I said, Miss, I have a student here. She's coming to me privately. But this is what she has. She had, I think, 6 O-level passes, but the grades were not, she had passed them, but they were not grade 1s and so on. And she was out of school. And my principal said, look, we will take her into our 6th form. We'll give her a chance. Let her come in like a sort of probationary period, and let's see what she would do. Let her know that, we will be monitoring. And she came and she worked. She worked exceptionally well. She went on to university, obtained a bursary. And I think the highlight for me as having been her teacher is to see her complete her studies and return to Tobago and be teaching the same subjects that I am at another school. She is teaching the same subject. She is employed as a teacher. And I remember the first year she taught, her pass rate was higher than mine. It was higher than mine. And I'm proud of her. I'm very proud of her. And she will always remain. And there are many others. I have many students at so many different levels. But she remains because this is someone who nearly didn't get a chance. And we have so many students who don't get a chance. There's so many students out there who deserve a second chance and they don't get it. But when they do, and you see them take full advantage of that second chance, that they surpass every expectation, that it doesn't compensate for the low salary that we get it still, but it and it doesn't compensate for the level of public disrespect and ridicule and demonization that we get. But sometimes for me, when I look back at that, it's probably what makes me say, all right, I'll stay for another year.
Truly understand. And I mean, seeing the emotions and they're trying their best to keep it together and so forth. But it brings me back to the point you made earlier. Sometimes you feel as if you gave birth to those same students. And I must say, as we come to a close, I'm really proud that we got a hold of you and for you accepting, because you were quite fitting to represent Tobago as that teacher of wood. And we know there are several others like you, but you are carrying that flag really well. And I want to give you that level of encouragement. I trust that your support systems continue in that vein and even enhanced if there is room for enhancement. I hear the submission about the technologies and so forth. Tutor has its role to play. We seek interactions with the minister, with the division, and hopefully we will get those things resolved. However, in this month of October, as we highlight teachers, I must say congratulations for all the good work that you have been doing, all the lives that you would have enhanced. And then we are hearing that one of those is now a teacher. So it continues down the road. So I'll just give you one closure, please.
One closure. I want to again take the opportunity to thank Tutor for this honor, this opportunity. The month of the teacher, being in October, as I said, it's my birthday month. So it also gave me an opportunity to reflect. And there have been many times that I've said I've wanted to quit. I've started looking at options. I want to get out. I want to get out. But when I pray, I keep hearing that I'm supposed to stay until I've been given the leeway to leave. I've had a very interesting journey, and I believe that it will continue to be interesting. But I appreciate what Tutor has been able to contribute to this journey. And this opportunity will go on to be one of the highlights of this experience of being a teacher, even at a point when I was really thinking I've had enough. And then Tutor calls and says, hey, you know what? This is what we want to say to you. So thank you. It has given me the impetus to continue on for some time again. And I pray that you continue to do all of the hard work, especially as you all have entered into a new phase with a new administration, a new executive. I pray for all of God's guidance for Tutor and the rest of the Trinidad and Tobago teaching fraternity by extension. Thank you.
All right, and thank you once again, and all the best as you continue carrying that flag for teachers, for Tutor as a Tobagonian, contributing meaningfully to our country and the world at large. Thank you.